The Marlins play their last set of home games of the regular season as they push for a playoff spot. The Dolphins win a record breaker in their first home game of the season. And the Florida Panthers reach out to the Hispanic community with a block party in Hialeah.
Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, where you get all highlights for your South Florida teams. I'm Tanya Jimenez.
I'm Anthony Cruz, and the Sideline starts now.
It's full circle for the wildcard hopeful Miami Marlins as the team prepares to face the New York Mets for the second time in the last 3 weeks.
Sideline's Melanie Huete gives us insight into the Fish's first series against New York here at home.
It's a crucial day here at Lone Depot Park as the Marlins have split their series against the Mets that many believe they needed in order to keep their playoff hopes alive.
It was another tough one for the Fish, already starting the night shorthanded due to Luis Arraez's injury. Their first offense was derailed even further when Jake Burger had to be pulled out of the game in the third inning after suffering from tightness in his right quad. Eury Perez started on the mound and did not have a good night, allowing the Mets to get off to an early lead. The Marlins would try to spark a rally in the 6th and 8th inning as Josh Bell hit on his 21st home run of the year, and Yuli Gurriel came in as the pinch hitter to convert on the RBI single. But the story of the game would continue. The Marlins had as many hits as the Met but could not capitalize on nearly any.
Reporting for Sideline, I am Melanie Huete.
The final score of that game was 8-3. Fortunately, the Fish redeemed themselves over the weekend by pulling out a 2-1 series win against the Milwaukee Brewers. Jake Burger recovered and sunk a 3-run homer to kick off the second game of the series.
Tanya, talk to me about that Dolphins offense. What a day to be a Dolphins fan. Miami took on the Denver Broncos this past Sunday afternoon for their first home game of the season, and they put on a show for the fans, winning 70-20. That was good enough for the second most regular season points in NFL history. This offensive explosion was spearheaded by the two Miami backs, Mostert and Achane, who each had 4 touchdowns. The Fins also set a record for the most total yards in franchise history with 726. Although Miami's visit was great, it won't last long. The team will be back on the road next week, traveling to Buffalo to face the division rival Bills in Highmark Stadium on October 1st.
Inter Miami aimed to rebound after a loss to Atlanta United and faced the interstate rival Orlando City FC at Exploria Stadium on Saturday. It was another merciless game, but the young core held their own. David Ruiz scored the first goal in the 55th minute, and Orlando City leveled the game in the 66th minute thanks to David Maguire keeping the team unbeaten against Miami at home. The final score was Orlando City 1, Inter Miami 1. Miami has its eyes set on the U.S. Open Cup final. All-Stars will be available on Wednesday against the Houston Dynamo. This summer, Inter Miami picked up star Lionel Messi, and the Heat now look to bring 7-time All-Star guard Damian Lillard to the 305. However, if you read Brian Windhorst and Barry Jackson's recent reports, the Heat are the ones that put an end to trade talks over the weekend. We're bringing in the pen of Alfredo Vanegas and Pablo Hernandez to see what's going on with the Trailblazers star.
I mean, let's be honest, he is going to get traded before training camp. At this point, Pat Riley is honestly just stalling for more leverage, right? At the end, do you really want to start training camp? Do you really want to start the next chapter of this Blazers rebuild with all of this drama, right? He's really just looking to take out, either Jaime Jaquez, see if he could keep Jokic. Honestly, what do you guys think Dame could bring to Miami?
Well, like you said about Pat Riley playing the go and see what else you can find out there card, I think that's a valid card to play, especially considering who Pat Riley is and who you're dealing with. However, I don't know how much you really want to push Joe Cronin's buttons on this one. I don't know. He's relatively new to this position. He wasn't there as part of the previous front office when Dame signed this current extension. So I don't know how far you want to push this guy necessarily.
I mean, at the end of the day, the Heat are being self-aware, right? They do not have the best package, right? Because objectively, if you put out Dame on the market, right, and you didn't have them as much, and that's why you give credit to Dame's camp, really, because they are the ones that have created the amount of leverage that Miami has received. So, what do you think?
I believe with Portland that the Heat have all the leverage, as Damian Lillard is 33 years old. He will be owed $70 million by the time he's 36. So we shouldn't give Portland everyone because Damian Lillard is not worth everyone.
I think he is, man. Because I think at the end of the day, I think the Heat, with how wide open the Eastern Conference is right now, with the James Harden drama going on in Philly, with Porzingis now being injured in Boston, I think a core of Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, with Coach Spoelstra coaching at the helm, I think that's a juggernaut. And at the end of the day, you can give up everyone because Miami, if anything, with their scouting department, with how they can find hidden gems in free agency, have shown that they are the best team in the league when it comes to replenishing their depth. That depth that we're missing out on, we're gonna get back before playoff time in the buyout market and in the trade deadline.
That's another thing. I know you've been hearing a bunch of conflicting reports as this entire trade saga has gone on, but I've been hearing things about the Heat being reluctant to offer Tyler Hero and Caleb Martin. And in my opinion, if your three top players are Lillard and Butler and Adebayo, it doesn't matter who everybody else is, put everything on the table because the Heat are going to develop new guys to take their places.
And at the end of the day, recognize the fact that none of these players in the package, except like the contract fillers like Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson, really had impact in the finals run. It's unfortunate, right? Because Tyler Hero would have, and in that one game in Milwaukee, did have his impact. But at the end of the day, Tyler Hero was injured. Jovic got DNPs. And Jaime is a rookie. So at the end of the day, you need proven talent to meet Jimmy Butler's timeline.
We'll see if the trade gets done soon or if there's another 100 days of waiting. Here's what's next on the sideline.
And now it's like, vamos gatos, like it's so out there in your face, like, and I was surprised, kind of.
A Panthers party hypes up fans over the weekend, and the sideline crew takes to the drawing board for team logos. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so, my point.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really...
The Florida Panthers are reaching out to the Hispanic community with block parties. And this weekend, I got to hang out with Stanley C. Panther and Victor E. Rat at the Vamos Gatos block party.
After last year's successful playoff run, more and more South Floridians are wearing Panther gear and recognizing players as they're grocery shopping at Publix. In an effort to reach the fans down south, the Cats are hosting the Vamos Gatos block party to bring the ice to the 305.
In Hialeah Park this weekend, in preparation for the quickly approaching upcoming 23-24 hockey season, Panther fans gathered to celebrate with food trucks, giveaways, live painting, activities, and more.
Oh, geez. Panthers since the 90s, when they started. Living up in Broward, but came here to Hialeah because I work in Hialeah, and we had some Panthers stuff, so we're going to have fun with it.
Because of where the Amerant Bank Arena is located, most fans are in Broward. But having this block party in Miami is an effort to reach out to those further south.
I feel like they've amped it up way more. Like when I first started watching and going to the games, I didn't get the vibe, And now it's like Vamos Gatos, like it's so out there in your face, like, and I was surprised, kind of, but happy, like a happy surprise, like, hey man, they're really trying, to reach the community. So I thought that was great, and I hope they keep doing it.
After a great night at the Vamos Gatos block party in Hialeah, the Panthers will play a doubleheader against the Nashville Predators on Monday, September 25th at Amerant Bank Arena for the first preseason game of the year. For Caplin News, I'm Tanya Jimenez.
Sport is an art, literally. We're putting sports with the canvas as some of our cast take a shot at trying to draw Florida sports team logos.
Hey, Nikki Esper here, and we're going to see which sideline member knows their South Florida teams. We're going to have two people draw the South Florida team logos and see which one is better. Okay, we're going to start off easy with the NFL team, the Miami Dolphins. You guys will have 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
Dude, this is my favorite animal, too. I'm so embarrassed right now.
You draw a dolphin again?
And stop.
No, I didn't even get...
That's like what you see when, like, the outline when someone's, like, dead on the street.
My boy.
Hey.
Oh, and yeah.
What the hell, old
It looks pretty. The tail is a little out of whack, but I think it works. Bro, those are the Miami Whales.
Next up is the Major League Soccer team, Inter Miami CF. 30 seconds starts now.
Like two little penguins, right?
A penguin?
Is the FC on it?
All right, hands off.
That was not what I was expecting. This is Inter, so this is the main.
That's the
Miami
badge.
emblem. Yeah, the badge.
I went
the circle logo.
because I thought I could draw it where the herons make the actual M for Miami.
Okay. Come on, man.
How many football clubs?
That doesn't even look like a penguin.
What?
There is no palm trees.
There are palm trees?
Wait, what is it?
Last team is going to be a little difficult. It's going to be the minor league baseball team, the Jupiter Hammerheads. Ready, set, go.
Don't tell me you already finished.
No, of course not.
Stop!
What does the Miami Dolphins with a hammerhead? What
No.
do you mean?
The Jupiter Hammerheads. Watch. This whole thing is Jupiter with the little red storm, the planet, and then I drew a little hammerhead in the middle.
I don't know what they look like. I don't know what color scheme they use, but I mean, I'm gonna guess there's some sort of a hammer reference in it, whether they're actually actual hammers or hammerhead sharks.
What the hell is that?
It's a hammerhead and then a baseball.
What? The hammerhead's in orbit. It's in orbit.
Oh my god. Please tell me that.
I'm like, yo, Tony, come on.
Okay, we're done with y'all.
Okay.
It was another dominant week for South Florida teams, and we're gonna see if we're gonna project to see in the following week if they continue that momentum. First, the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills in their divisional rivalry game. Now, this is an away game, and we're starting off the same as last year, 3-0. So, now this game, many are saying is gonna prove if the Dolphins are real or not. Do you think they could finally pull off a win against the Bills on the road?
Honestly, yes. Yes, we did lose a couple big names. We did, we have a few injuries, but honestly, I just felt so much confidence. And not only was it because, the Broncos defense wasn't the best, but I truly believe that the confidence that QB1 has with, multiple options to throw to, I just feel like we're going to do very great. And I honestly, it's going to be a close game, but I have the Dolphins.
And honestly, the offensive firepower, I mean, you're not going to argue against a team that scored 70, but at the end of the day, you see like the running game, like you see 7 out of the 10 touchdowns came from Mostert, and also a debuting A-Chain. Like, I think undisputed, I think the Dolphins can finally pull it out in Buffalo. So the next game, we're moving on to the Marlins versus the Mets and the Pirates. It is the final week of the wild card race. We're going to see if the Marlins can finally reclaim that spot that looked like they were going to have at the beginning of the season. So we're going against two sub 500 teams, which you would think is a good place for the Marlins, but no. Recently, it's shown that they just prefer to be giant slayers and cannot get it done against sub 500 teams. So do you think they can not only redeem themselves against the Mets, but go into Pittsburgh and beat the Pirates?
Honestly, I think so. Do you know why? Not because I'm biased, but because I feel like we do better in adversity. In moments of situational, like for example, since we're going to be away both times, we're going to be on the road going on, we tend to do better when we have a harder circumstance. So I just believe, if the bats keep going the way they're going and defense keeps, I just believe that we have that. And honestly, the Mets, I just hope it's a sweep. And the Pirates, it might be a 2-1, but I truly believe that we'll make it to the postseason and bring the games back home.
And the team, honestly, has been suffering more from devastating injuries, more from ticky-tack injuries. So finally, Luis Arias is back, Jake Berger is back, the team is healthy. We're waiting on Sandy. But yeah, I think I'm very confident, especially in the fact that they are in a prime position because the team that's above them, the Cubs have a very tough schedule right now. In terms, they finish off against the Braves and the Brewers. So now we're going to Inter Miami, the U.S. Open Cup final against the 4-seeded Houston Dynamo. How do you think that's going to go?
Honestly, we're coming back home. We have all the big names. We have all the big stars. The youngins did really, I believe they did pretty well against Orlando on Sunday. So I just genuinely believe that we're going to be able to pull this off, especially coming in out of rest. The three have the rest, and the young core have that confidence coming into this. And it's a final. It's going to be a very tough game, but I truly believe we're going to pull this off.
Well, you can't say the sideline is biased. That sounds the buzzer for today. I'm Anthony Cruz.
And I'm Tanya Jimenez, and we'll see you next week on The Sideline.